Well, folks, just last week, our next guest was nominated for an Academy Award for his portrayal of Lieutenant Dan in the runaway blockbuster hit Forrest Gump. Do us a favor, please welcome a fine actor, a very nice man, Gary Sinise. Gary! Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a seat. This has turned out to be great fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
First, the success of the movie, and I guess it was a lot of hard work, but probably very satisfying work, you and Tom in the film. And then now, you get nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
How did you hear about that?
Well, I was in bed, and...
it happens very early on the West Coast, like 5 o'clock in the morning or something?
5:30, yeah. They have it live on television and everything, but I chose to kind of sleep in, Dave. And
didn't want to be bothered by it? We're nervous about it, just wanted to sleep through the whole ordeal?
I just didn't want to kind of get my hopes up, get my cup of coffee, turn on the television, sit there and go like this, you know?
Is that what you would have done?
And then have it pass me by, and right. Now I'm awake.
You're up for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
and you screwed up.
Yeah. So I just slept in, and I got a phone call at about 5:45.
Did people go nuts? Did your family and friends, everybody wildly enthused for you, I guess?
Yes, yeah. I got one call, and then the call waiting kicked in, and it was my dad, and then the call waiting kicked in again. It was my mom, and then the call waiting just kept kicking in.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I'm hosting the awards on the 27th, and I had some paperwork. Check that. Okay. I'm going to need you to sign the receipt there, saying that you got it. Take care of some of this stuff now. Yeah.
How can you do that?
Well, they sent out a brochure. I got all the... Here. Thank you very much. This project that you're working on now, or I guess it's completed, is the, I'm very envious of this because I love stuff about the space program, and I think it's a great combination. You and Tom Hanks again working in another film. It's Apollo 13, is that the one?
Apollo 13, it comes out June 30th.
Now this one, I know this one, you guys just keep making one blockbuster after another here. This is going to be huge, isn't it?
We just crank out the blockbusters,
That's right.
Dave, yeah.
It's the hit factory. But I mean, that's a great story, Apollo 13, because that's the one, they had so many technical electronic malfunctions that the thing could have very nearly, I believe, just skipped into deep space and they'd still be out there. Is that the deal?
For eternity. Yeah. They had an accident on the ship. An oxygen tank blew up. They lost virtually all their power, and we had to figure out a way to conserve the power for 4 days.
Right.
They had a little bit left in the batteries, and we had to get them back for re-entry.
Now, are you and Tom the crew of the capsule?
I play Ken Mattingly, who was actually scheduled to go on the flight, and 2 days before they took him off the flight and replaced him with Jack Swigert, who was played by Kevin Bacon, because he had been exposed to the measles and he hadn't had him as a kid. And so they took him off the flight. They didn't want him to break.
Can you imagine that if the guy, with all of the trouble they had, and an astronaut's got the measles up there? Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, I think he never did get the measles, which is ironic, and he did get to eventually go up on Apollo 16.
Ken Mattingly, and now plays first base for the Yankees. And Tom plays whom on the...
Tom plays Jim Lovell.
Yeah, oh. Now, did you guys actually feel like astronauts? I know you did some training. You went up in that the rocket, or the plane that simulates 0 Gs.
It's the KC-135, better known as the Vomit Comet.
Yeah.
And,
how does that work exactly?
It's a jet. It's like a 707 or 727. They've got it gutted all the seats are out. It's all padded inside, and they take you up, and about 30,000 feet, it does these looping motions like a roller coaster. And every time it comes over like that and drops, you get about 30 seconds of zero gravity. And it did that about 40 times. We went up and down like this, 40 times.
I had a flight like that to Kansas City once. Thank you.
Yeah, and I got...
And you actually floating,
yeah,
more or less.
Floating. For the 30 seconds, you actually go into complete and total weightlessness. Everything floats. And we were only supposed to do it 40 times, and I made it 40 times, you know, without any problems. You've got barf bags right here, you know, in case there's a problem. Ron Howard, the director, suggested to the pilot that we go another 10.
What's the matter with him?
Well, I don't know.
He's Opie, you know.
He is
That's the problem. He's Opie. He's a little Opie.
Yeah, well...
Everybody got a little Opie.
The problem was that I could only make it to number 42, and the barf bags came out.
And then you start heaving up, yeah.
And so I had... And the doctor came over, and, you know, I'm sick as a dog. I'm the only one, of course, that got sick. And he says, make sure you seal up the bag. Because, you know, everything floats.
Sure.
So I sealed up the bag, and then he said, well, we've got a piece of equipment that's going to help you through, and he pulled out one of these little plastic fans, battery-operated fans, and just put it up to my face.
And that's it.
And so I'm sitting with a battery-operated fan.
That's how they cure space sickness, apparently.
Yeah. NASA. It's a NASA.
I'm very excited for you. I think this is great, and geez, I hope you do well that night. And I think this movie is going to be another big hit for you.
Well, thanks.
Thank you very much for being here. Nice to see you again, Gary.
You bet.
Gary Sinise, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back, kids. Sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time. My thanks to Jimmy Vaughn, Gary Sinise, Wendy Liebman, Sarah Sybil Shepard. Tomorrow on the program, Rosie O'Donnell, Michael McKeon, and David Byrne. Now, do us a favor, stay tuned for The Late Late Show with Tom Snyder. Tom's guest tonight, Jack Lemmon and Molly Ivins. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody. Good luck.